Hi. Well, it's after Christmas, and I promised you another story about Annabella and her adventures with Bessarabia. She's a fortune teller gypsy. Okay, and I made a little collage picture of it with her and her friend at the fair with her one friend in Bessarabia and her playmates and Annabella. And it's getting really the summertime is around the corner, and Annabella's all excited about the country fairs, and she gets to go on a merry-go-round, the Ferris wheel, and the best thing that she likes is seeing the fortune teller Basarabia. Annabella loves seeing her, and she always wanted to be a gypsy, and she always pretended all the time that she was a gypsy. Annabella got dressed up and met with her aunt and uncle. They always took her to the fair. They took her everywhere. They were walking around the fairgrounds when Annabella discovered that her Aunt Caroline was missing. She asked her uncle, "Where is Aunt Caroline?" He said, "I don't know. Maybe she joined the gypsies. What do you think, Annabella?" And Annabella said, she just might. She just might, because she's like me, right?" And Uncle just kind of shook his head. So Annabella thought and thought, and she's had to figure out an answer, a clue where her aunt was. Well, Annabella knew that she's not supposed to talk to fortune tellers or go to her tent or bother them or talk to strangers. That's one of the rules. You don't do that without supervision. But deep down, Annabella always wanted to be a gypsy. She liked traveling, a real traveling, not make-believe. And Annabella and her uncle kind of walked around a little bit and walked around. She's looking at all the sights, and then all of a sudden, Annabella spotted Bessarabia, the gypsy. Well, when she ran over to Bessarabia and she was asking her questions, and you're not supposed to do that, but she had to find out what happened to her aunt. Well, Annabella told, Bessarabia told Annabella to wait outside her fortune-telling booth. And then in a few minutes, she came back out, and Annabella looked at her and looked at her. And she was puzzled. She knew that wasn't the same person. She looked Bessarabia over and over, and she looked at her hands, and then she recognized on her finger a certain ring. She recognized a ring on her finger. This is a bigger version of Bessarabia, so you get the idea. Well, she saw the ring on the gypsy's finger. Then, being outspoken, Annabella said, "You're not Bessarabia, you're my Aunt Caroline. What did you do with the real Bessarabia?" Well, by this time, after all the questioning, the uncle joined the group, as well as with Annabella's parents. They were in on the idea about Annabella testing her to see what she was going to do if she's supposed to talk to strangers. And she did. She wasn't supposed to, but she was wanting to what happened to her aunt. Like anybody else, where's my aunt? So Annabella was so sorry, and she had a really good excuse. She had to find her favorite aunt. Well, after a while, after the parents and the aunt and uncle talked, they forgave her, and they decided to let her meet the real Bessarabia, not the aunt. Okay? And this really tickled Annabella, because she really was adventurous. She really wanted to be a gypsy. And then she talked to her with the parent supervision, and she told everybody, especially the parents, she says, I am still going to be a gypsy when I grow up. What do you think about that? And the parents just looked at each other, and the aunt and uncle, and they all just chuckled because Annabella is very adventurous, and who knows what's going to happen when she grows up. She might be a fortune teller or a traveler or whatever. She kind of reminds me of my one niece that she always has adventures, and she goes all over checking out things, and she's a traveler. So choose your career wisely, and you might be a world traveler someday. Thank you, and you have a great new year.